Hey, family, friends, everybody, welcome to episode number 15. Yes, 15 of Tuesdays with the Ambassador of Hope. I believe that you have been blessed over the few episodes that we have had. We've got some wonderful feedback, we've got some wonderful testimonies, and I am sure that you are growing in wisdom and in understanding and taking life by the horns as you are empowered by the wisdom that comes from God. It's so good to have you today. I want to welcome all of you. Listen, I'm going to give you a few, let's say 60 seconds, 60, like we always do. Listen, we are partners. And if this teaching has been a blessing to you, surely let somebody else also be blessed too. So come on, pick up your tablet and let's share your device. Share it to somebody, send the link to somebody, tell them that the Ambassador of Hope is seated and is ready to get into the word, get into some wisdom with you. So let's do that. I'm giving you just 60 seconds. Actually, you have 40 seconds now. Let's do that. Please share. Go ahead. Share. I want to see numbers go up. You know, sometimes people share things that honestly have no blessing, have no bearing on going forward in life. So let's do something. You know, we walk in wisdom, so let's do something. You know, take the next 15 seconds and share. Share to friends, share to family, share to people. Let them know that Tuesday is Tuesday. You know, some people live for Friday. They are social butterflies. Thank God it's Friday. TGIF, you know. We also can say thank God it's Tuesday. Let's do that. Well, God bless you again and all friends and family who are right here with us. You know, we are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And then you can catch us on other platforms too. Listen, make sure that you like our Facebook page and subscribe to notifications and everything. And just get to our YouTube channel. Those of you who are on the YouTube channel, come on, do that so that you can get notifications in case you forget. Because sometimes life can be busy. In case you forget, then we can notify you that the Ambassador of Hope is ready to go. Episode number 15. We're going to get straight into business today. And you know, we've been continuing our journey into wisdom. There's one thing that I know in this life, and that is consistency is one of the trademarks of greatness. You've got to be consistent in what you do. You can't be stop, start, you know, willy-nilly. No, you don't do that. Once you set your face like a flint, you've got to go on until you hit the bull's eye. So we're on this journey together, and the whole month of August, we are dealing with wisdom from unexpected places. You like the topic? Wisdom from unexpected places. And so this is the second part, episode number 50. We started the episode number 14, and we are continuing on that journey. And I like the thing unexpected. Because, you know, many times people settle for the predictable. People settle for what is comfortable, what is obvious. You know, we are so predictable that if somebody wants to kill us, it will be very easy for them to do it. You know, there are places that wisdom is hidden, that not too many people look. And I want to put something on the screen for you. You can screenshot it, you can write it down. You know, because you don't want to be a lightweight in life. You don't want to be like anybody else. You know, if you want to be celebrated like a heavyweight, I'm going to put something. I said, if you want to be a heavyweight champion, don't waste your time on lightweight exercises. If you want to be a heavyweight champion, you don't spend your time on lightweight exercises. Because if you do that, you are cheating yourself, and when you get into the ring, you'll be exposed. You got to do heavyweight exercises. And so as a fellow winner, listen, learn to separate yourself from the crowd. The bottom of life is too crowded with turkeys. Separate yourself for those who always look for the easy way out. Separate yourself from people who follow people who just give them vain promises. Listen, there is dignity in labor. Life is not cheap. Nobody can just pray you whilst you do nothing. They pray you into a breakthrough. Nobody can fast for you or prophesy over your head or say things over on a prayer line or anything that instantly, boom, then you become successful. If you've been doing that for a long time, I want to ask you a question. How is it working for you? I told you that this is not another church service, but I want to get under your skin. I want to scratch you where you are itching. I want to trouble. If you lose sleep at night because of the things I'm saying, so be it. Because listen, I get tired about people who feel that you can go on a particular trajectory, like maybe just pray alone or this alone, giving alone, and no, life is bigger than that. Life doesn't have to be complex, but there's a wisdom, there's a way that you can do it. You don't follow the large majority. Be different. Stand out. Explore things that the average person doesn't do. Because when you do that, you stand out. You see that like precious metals like silver, like gold and diamonds and platinum, all these things, they are not normally found lying on the open. You've got to expend some effort in order to mine those things. You go through a lot of laborious work in order to mine them and to refine them, and then they become very expensive for people to purchase. That is how a great and successful life is achieved. Can you, for the next few days, months, weeks, go on a quest for wisdom? Read the book of Proverbs, read Ecclesiastes, observe with your eyes, ask the Lord to give you wisdom, open your eyes. You'll be surprised. Ask questions. The other day, I think one of our earlier episodes, we talked about burning questions. Questions that cause you to think, to look beyond the ordinary. Seek wisdom. Let wisdom be the way you seek air. Seek wisdom. And when you seek it, apply it, and you win. And we'll be reading from the book of Proverbs naturally. And Proverbs chapter 30, we are doing verse 24 all the way to verse 28. And welcome again, all of you. Welcome again. So good to see all of you. The wise man is saying some things that are very, very, very powerful. Proverbs chapter 30, verse number 24 down, he says, there are 4 things. Now listen carefully to this. It says there are 4 things which are little on the earth. They are little on the earth. But they are exceedingly wise. Even though they are little, they are insignificant, and yet they are exceedingly wise. Who are these 4 things? What are these 4 things? Number 1, he says the ants, they are a people not strong, yet they prepare their food in the summer. Number 2, the rock badgers, they are a feeble folk, feeble, weak, yet they make their homes in the cracks. The locusts, they have no king, they have no ruler, no guide, yet they all advance in ranks. Then the spider skillfully grasps with his hands, and it's in kings' palaces. Now, the burden here is that, looking at last, we said God will often use the unlikeliest of things to teach us life's greatest lessons. We established last week that when God wants to teach you something, when God wanted to teach us wisdom, he could have sent us to some of the earth-shaking, earth-moving creatures like the lion, like the leopard, the buffalo, the elephant. These are animals that fear nothing. They have attitudes. The water buffalo, powerful. And yet God bypassed all this and went to the unlikeliest of places where you can learn. That is how champions do. Listen, eagles don't feed on dead carcass. It's buzzards, vultures that feed on dead carcass. So if you're going to be an eagle, you must know where you eat. You must know the books you read. You must know where you go for your information. And here we are seeing that God will use the unlikeliest of things to teach us some of the greatest lessons in life. And he talks about 4 little creatures. It says they are little, very, very little on earth. And you will agree with ants. Very little on earth. Yet, you see the contrast of the impact? They are this, yet. They are this, yet. They are this. For example, the ant says they are a people not strong. They are weak. They are little, insignificant. I'm sure we walk around all the time stepping on them because we don't understand ant language. We don't hear them. Who pays any attention to them? But it says that they are a people not strong. Yet they prepare their food in the summer. Yet they prepare their food in the summer. Rock badger says they are feeble. They are very feeble. They are weak. But it goes on to say, yet they make their homes in the cleft of the rock, the cracks of the rock. The locusts, they have no king. What a testimony about them. Nobody comes over them to organize them, whip them into place. And we'll look at those in some maybe in the next episode. And yet they advance in ranks. Talk about little Mr. Spider. Has little hands. The only one of the four creatures that the Bible talks about where you find its destination in king's palaces. There's nowhere in this world that you can go to that you can't find ants. They bypass every security and they are in there. So you see that these little creatures physically, they don't stand a chance. Strength-wise, that is, yet they have much wisdom that helps them to excel. So when God, the sum of all wisdom, says, go and learn from these unlikely creatures at unlikely places, then we better pay attention. Because let me tell you something. The wisdom of God is mostly diametrically opposed to the wisdom of humanity. Some of the things that God uses to teach us just don't make sense. Even about your life. That is why I want people to look at you. People who thought they knew you. People who have seen you go through things. They've seen you fail. They've seen you fall. They've seen you falter. And they think they have you figured out. And you all of a sudden you're going to show them that no, you don't really know me. In fact, I like 1 Corinthians chapter 1. When I read that, where it tells that God has chosen the foolish things of this world, that is the day I knew I qualify. I think we need to read it. I really feel we need to read that. 1 Corinthians chapter 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 1. We're going to read verse 26 to 27. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 26 to 27. It's so amazing. He says, this from the Message translation. The Message translation. He says, take a good look, friends, at who you were when you got called into this life. Which means take a look where you are coming from. Because if you don't realize where you are coming from, you cannot appreciate where you are. If you forget your history, then your future will be a trouble. Listen, he says, I don't see many of the brightest and the best. Is in quotation marks. I don't see many of the brightest and the best among you. Not many influential. Not many from high society families. Isn't it obvious that God deliberately chose men and women that the culture overlooks and exploits and abuses? Chose these nobodies like you and me to expose the hollow pretensions of the somebodies. I like that. That makes it quite clear that none of you can get by with blowing your own horn before God. Everything that we have, right thinking, whatever, right living, clean out, everything comes from God. In fact, you know something? Let me meddle in this thing a little bit. The Passion Translation too is one of the newer ones that is very, very interesting. Look, listen to this. Listen to this. You're going to like it. Listen. It says, but for those who have been chosen to follow him, both Jews and Greek, he is God's mighty power. Then in verse 26 it says, for the foolish things of God have proven to be wiser than human wisdom. And the feeble, you met that, the locust, the rock badger, feeble things of God have proven to be far more powerful than any human ability. Then he says, brothers, consider who you were when God called you to salvation. Not many of you were wise scholars by human standards. Nor were many of you in positions of power. Not many of you were considered the elite when you answered God's call, but God chose those whom the world considers foolish to shame those who think they are wise. And God chose the puny and powerless to shame the high and the mighty. So these creatures that we are talking about, they are puny. They are pathetic sometimes. They are weak. They don't even make noise. And yet God uses them unlikely places to show us something. So when you read this, understand that this is your invitation for qualification into an extraordinary life. In the last episode, in episode 14, we began with the ant, the lowly ant. And the characteristic that we looked at about the ant is that the ant preparation. So we talked about preparation. We realized that we traffic in three dimensions: the past, the present, the future. And the ant was on top of it all. The ant is not held down by the past. It is not seduced by the present, and it doesn't get intimidated by the future. It goes right ahead. So, listen, let me put this on the screen for you about your future, because some of you are kidding with your future. The future is where you are sitting right now. The future is where you are right now. I kept talking about the future. Somebody asked me, Ambassador of Hope, why do you keep talking about the future? What is so important about the future? And I'm going to put it there for, I said, be very interested in your future because you're going to live there. Be very interested in your future because you're going to, in fact, let me go on to say this, that your future is hidden in what you are doing today. Your future is hidden in what you are doing today. Don't permit the past and don't permit the present to lock you down so you don't go into your future. And so today, in a few minutes, I won't take too much of your time, we are going to turn our attention to the next creature. He says the ant are people not strong. They are not strong. And yet, they prepare their food in the summer. Then the next one, so today we are talking about the rock badger. Yes, the rock badger. We are talking about the rock badger. The rock badger. Sometimes it is also called conies. C-O-N-I-E-S. Conies or hyraxes. It's one and the same thing. Let me show you a description. I wish I could put something on your screen for you about. It's a very small creature. Comparatively, it's very small. In fact, it is a little smaller than a rabbit. Not a big rabbit, a little rabbit. And physically, it is feeble. It is delicate. And it is not strong. But there are two marked characteristics that I'm going to put on the screen for you about the rock badger, the coney. Number one, they have very weak hind legs, and so they can't run fast. They are not fast runners because their hind legs are very weak. When you see them, they can't run. You can easily outrun them. The predators can easily outrun them and take them out. Eagles can just swoop and get them. And so they can run fast. Number two, they also have weak forelimbs. And because of that, they can't dig. They can't burrow into the ground to hide. Now look at this creature. Don't you think everything is against it? Sometimes you wonder, did God have anything against this lowly rock badger? You didn't give him strong feet. You didn't give him 4 arms. So naturally, if you have weak legs, weak hands, you can't burrow into the ground to hide, you can't run fast to hide, then naturally you are very vulnerable to your enemies. And so the rock badger compensates for that lack of strength and speed with wisdom about how to survive. And how does he do that? With the ant, we talked about preparation. With the rock badger, it is positioning. Write that down. Positioning. That is the wisdom of the rock badger. The rock badger positions itself strategically in rock. The Bible says that yet it hides in the rocks. It positions itself in the cracks, in the rocks, where predators cannot easily get to it. If the wisdom of the ant is preparation, then the wisdom of the rock badger is positioning. The rock badger is aware of its handicap, so it has learned through wisdom to compensate for it by positioning itself for security. Please listen to me. Listen. You know, this is Tuesdays on Ambassador of Hope. We are not religious. Religion binds people. Religion binds people. A lot of people are very religious. They are bound by religion. So I tell it as it is. And let me tell you something. Everybody listening to me, doesn't matter who you are. You can be black or white, striped, polka dot, tall, short, mid, whatever you are. Listen, all of us have some vulnerability in our lives. Everybody has a handicap, as it were. Unless, of course, you're a very, very good actor. Then you don't need what I'm talking to you about. But we all have handicap. We all have things that we are not proud about. We all have things that we can handle very well. Maybe as you are listening to me, you've gone through so many things and you've looked at your life and you say, listen, nobody gave me a hand in life. Other than that, I would have gone further. It was a handicap, lack of help. Other people got good help and set them up. Their parents helped them. Their grandparents helped them. Other people helped them. Somebody gave them a break. They knew people. They were connected. And so very soon they started climbing on corporate ladder. They started doing some things in college. And you're wondering, how me? It's a handicap. You say, oh, but Ambassador, as for mine, my issues are so many that my issues have issues. If I kill one issue, 7 issues will come to the 8th funeral. Oh, we all go through that. Listen, everybody you meet is having a particular kind of issue. It's only that a lot of them don't truly advertise their issues. Everybody has issues. Maybe your issue is, if I were married, and so because of that I am alone, I have to do things alone, I am lonely, I am this, and it goes on. For maybe for some of you, your loneliness is choice, or some not by choice. You went through a divorce, a messy divorce, and you are just hurted. It's a vulnerability. Could it be that you have made one bad mistake, and that mistake has followed you everywhere? You relocate, and that mistake gets your address and goes ahead of you. It's like it's in your GPS system. And it goes on and on and on. Listen, truly you may have a handicap or handicaps. Maybe you are very vulnerable. But wisdom is saying that you can still excel if you learn to position yourself strategically in this life. If you explore the Bible, the Word of God, if you read biographies, if you listen to the stories of men and women who have made it, if you check the lives of great people, one thing that will jump at you always is that they all had something running through the thread of their lives, and that is handicap. Let's look into the Bible. The one who started the nation of Israel, Jacob. This man had a limp. After that great WWF wrestling match with God by the brook of Jabbok. Now, when somebody is wounded, God heals them. But what if God himself wounds you? Have you thought about that? There is a reason. There's a method to the madness. God may not have to explain himself to you. But Jacob carried a limp for the rest of his life. A man that wrestled with God and came up tops. Yet he wrestled. It slowed him down. Maybe somebody listening to me, a wrestling match that you had with your finances, a wrestling match that you had with your relationship, a wrestling match that you had with the ministry that didn't work, a wrestling match, and it's causing you to limp, and everybody can see it. It's a handicap. But let me tell you something, that does not have to define you. Moses, the great leader, the great deliverer, a man who could walk into the court of the most powerful leader, Pharaoh, and thunder in his face and say, this is what the Lord is saying. Let my people go that they may serve me. He left Egypt with the economy of Egypt. And from that time till now, Egypt had never become a world empire again. Money failed because of that man. But you know something? Moses started. He couldn't talk. When God wanted them to go, he wanted him to go back and do something, he said, Lord, I can't talk, I'm a stutterer. But you know something? At the end of his life, in the book of Deuteronomy, he was singing. If God could use a stutterer to sing, my God, there's hope for you. Thomas, he was a doubter. We call him Doubting Thomas. He took the gospel to India and did amazing things. Do I even have to whisper about David? That is X-rated. We don't even have to go there. Look at all the things that were against him. Everything that could go wrong was wrong with this man. And yet God says, I will use this man powerfully. One of my great heroes in the Bible is Paul the Apostle. Writing in 2 Corinthians, I think chapter 7 or so, he said, something was donated to me, a severe handicap that was so terrible. And I suspect the thing was so embarrassing that Paul never mentioned the name of that thing. He said, that was given to me a thorn in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to buffet me. And concerning this thing, as you are listening to me, do you have this thing? So embarrassing you can't even mention it. It brings tears to your eyes. Deep pain in your heart. It's your this thing. Makes you vulnerable. Makes you want to tell the world to go away and leave you alone. The thing was so painful that Paul said on 3 occasions, can you imagine this great warrior, the one who went to heaven and came back, so powerful that he prayed on 3 occasions that God, can you take this thing away already? And God said to him, listen, this handicap is not to kill you, it's not to silence you, but it's to show you my wisdom. And when Paul understood that, I said, then God is attracted to my handicap and will do amazing things. The wisdom of the rock badger is that I admit that I have a handicap, yes. I agree that I am vulnerable, but it doesn't have to keep me down. The things, your issues, your troubles, your bankruptcies, your wrong choices, your bad mistakes, your wrong things, they don't have to keep you down. Because when danger is looming, rock badger, I know where to run to. Remember, it says that the rock badger is feeble, and yet it makes its home in the cracks. Actually, my media team have done an amazing thing. Can you see this little thing on your thing? I want to take my time for you to enjoy it. Just look at it. Listen, if you can draw some spectacles around, that would be nice. It looks like something that will really wear spectacles. I mean, please forgive me. Sometimes I get crazy, but I'm going to promise you I'll do that. Put some glasses on. No, don't do it yet. Don't do it. But, we can put some. Listen, some of you have these things on your phones that you can put some glasses. You can call him, hey, this is the dude. You're rock badger. Yeah, Baji, what's up? You can do something like that. I mean, I'm serious, but that's a rock badger. That is it. Feeble. Look at the legs. Look at the hind legs. They don't look powerful. They can run fast. Look at the forelimbs. It can dig. But you see behind it, rocks that it can hide in. When trouble looms, when things are challenging you, the cleft of the rock is impregnable. And the rock badger says, this is my wisdom. I will position myself in something that is strong, something that is solid, and something that is secure. Think about that. I love that. I will hide myself in something that is strong, something that is solid, something that is secure. So let me give you two things here, and I'm going to be out of your way. Number one, the rock badger, that is you, the rock badger is safe as long as it is hidden. The rock badger, it hides in the rocks. And once it hides in the rocks, who can pick it? Because many times they are hunted down by eagles. They are hunted down by hawks. They swoop through the clouds and just pick it up, and that is dinner. And the rock badger knows that if I don't hide in something that the eagle or the hawk cannot break with their beak, then I'm going to be somebody's breakfast. Have you thought about that? And so many times it hides. Here is wisdom that I'm going to give to you. You can write it, you can screenshot it. Many times your strength is not in being seen, but rather it is in being hidden. Many times your strength is not how you are exposed to the world, but rather how with wisdom you hide. Today I had a wonderful conversation with a very good friend of mine, and I was telling this individual, and the person told me about a particular issue where a particular leader was flaunting something, and it brought all kinds of repercussions and things. And I said, sometimes there are some battles that are unnecessary. You don't have to flaunt everything. Don't you feel sad? I know some of you like it, but don't you feel sad sometimes when you see some of these people? Maybe do I even need to go there? People who have just come into some money, and you see them on social media, and they are holding watts and watts and watts of $100 bills, and they are flaunting it, and they are sharing it. And I just watched and I said, do you really need this? Do you really need to ask for battles that maybe you are not equipped to fight? The wise man, the carpenter from Galilee, Matthew said something about him that Matthew quoted him in Matthew chapter 10 and verse 16. He was sending out his apprentices into the world. And he said, I want you guys to be really smart. Pick up some of the wisdom of the rock badger. And he said, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Wise as serpents. What does it mean? Because listen, this I know you don't like them, so I'm not going to get into too much. I'm not going to describe. A lot of people get very with these creepy crawlies, But snakes and things, they are all over the place. But so long as they are hidden, nobody's going to kill them. It only becomes vulnerable and in danger when it is exposed. So the Lord carpenter is saying to you and I that many times in life, learn to hide in things. I'm not saying hide from opportunity. I'm not saying hide from ambition. I'm not saying hide from doing what you have to do. But sometimes you attract unnecessary warfare because you are not smart. You are everywhere. You are the life of everybody. Must you be the baby at every baby dedication? Must you be the corpse at every funeral? Must you be the ball at every basketball game? No. Sometimes, sister, sometimes, brother, take it easy and hide a little bit. Must you eat everywhere? No. Listen, this is the FOA, the Ambassador of Hope's definition for dignity. The fact that you are hungry doesn't mean you eat everything. Have some dignity, because there are some things you eat today, you pay forever. You've got to know where you eat. Somebody, you are listening to me. Every day, cook for me. Every day, let me come and eat. Every day, can you have some dignity already? Sometimes it's better to go hungry when your great destiny is at stake. Hide. I'm coming down your alley. It's not going to be any better before it gets better. Must you post everything on social media? Must you? You make yourself too vulnerable. You go and rent purses and bags and shoes, and you stand in stores and you look at those and you take photos like they belong to you. No doubt nobody gives you anything. No doubt. You know, when I was a 10-year-old boy, I was in boarding school, and where we were is near possibly the most famous botanical gardens in the nation that, you know, that I was born and raised in. And one time, myself and two friends, you know, we had an exit Saturdays we could go out. So we went to the botanical gardens, I beg your pardon, English language. And we went to their restaurant to go and buy some, you know, some soda. And there were these men, dignified men, who were seated there. And they called us, hey, young boys. They knew, I mean, from the way we were dressed, they knew we were from the boarding school, what a very popular boarding school, boys' boarding school. And so they began to ask us questions, and one of them said, what's your name? So I mentioned my name, Ofosu-Appiah. He said, whoa, are you related to this? I said, that name, you know. Then they asked my friend, what's your name? Then he mentioned. Then the last friend, they asked him, and he mentioned his name. The moment he mentioned his name, the man said, go back. And the other friend said, what? He said, listen to that name. And apparently the boy carried the name of one of the richest people in Ghana at that time. And he said, I can't buy anything for this rich man's son. You know, apparently it was namesakes. Maybe his father was maybe something. But sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, the way you carry yourself sometimes doesn't even make people have mercy on you. I'm not saying that you should wallow in the dirt. But why do you have to flaunt things? Learn to hide. Be like the rock badger. Your security must be in your ability to hide until the right moment. Must you tell your deepest secrets to people that you have not proven? That is why you walk about and say, I don't trust anybody, I don't trust anybody. And how can everybody trust you when you are telling everybody? Listen, you can talk too much that you don't even know who quoted you. You attend too many parties. I'm not saying don't go to a party, but must you be in every party, including the ones you are not invited? So I said at the beginning, a lot of you, we don't have to do much to predict you. Listen to me. Be like the rock badger, the wisdom of the rock badger. Learn to hide in some seasons. So if you need to hide from some old, non-progressive relationships, they have never given you one good idea. They've never given you one good advice. They've never asked you, how much have you saved? What is your plan for next year? What is your plan for this? Nothing. Every time, have you heard? Have you heard? Have you heard? Listen, when you do that, you lack wisdom. Life is serious business, my friend. Life is serious business. And I hope to God that if only one person out of the 7.5 billion people catch what I'm saying and they live it, I'll die a happy man one day. Please listen. Some of you need to stop all the socialization and hide yourself and improve on yourself. Get your head down and study. Get your head down and finish that degree. Get your head down and finish that certification. Get your head down and do something. Sometimes, because of some reputations and things, you need to hide a little bit to reinvent yourself. Oh, I can tell you that. Esau, the brother, the Esau, you remember Esau? Jacob's brother? You know, he was all over the place. He lost his birthright and everything. He was angry. For 20 years, we never heard from him again until that night in Genesis chapter 32 when he met his brother by the brook of Jabbok. When they met, Esau had so much stuff, animals, livestock, men. And Jacob also was bringing a whole lot because in his mind, see, people will always treat you at the last point they left you. So in Jacob's mind, the same Esau that he left 20 years ago is him. So Jacob was bringing a lot of stuff. And Esau asked him, what are all these stuff that you are bringing with you? And Jacob said, I brought them to you, my brother. And listen to what Esau said. He said, keep what you have, my brother. I have enough. Which means all the 20 years we had nothing from. The guy was building on himself. He had made so much possessions. You know how to stop being a beggar? For people to disrespect you? Hide yourself. Reinvent yourself. And come back with style. That is the rock badger. Moses was hidden for 80 years so that he can give 40 years of leadership. John the Baptizer, he was in the wilderness hidden until his manifestation to Israel. Please, my friend, learn, hide and learn. Hide and grow. Hide and wait for your time. Let's look at the next thing about the second thing about the rock badger, and I'm done for this episode. I hope you have been blessed. And again, welcome all of you. Listen, just share, send the hearts, send the stars, send the thumbs ups, everything. Let's just do that. Let's flood all over the place and just give your feedback. Come on, let's do that. So remember, the rock badger is safe as long as it is hidden. The second thing is the rock badger is safe so long as it has a rock that they can hide in. Who do you have to protect you? Who is your rock? And for this, I know we have the rock of ages, who is Jesus, but I'm talking about your life. Who is a rock in your life? Who can protect you from predators? Who can protect you from enemies? In fact, do you have somebody who can protect you from yourself? Because sometimes you can be the greatest danger to yourself. Who do you have that when they call you on the phone and they tell you sit down or don't talk, you don't ask them why? Whose voice warns you of danger? Do you have anybody in your life that your enemy dare not mess with? Because they know that if they mess with you, they are messing with them. They can't touch it. Who is bigger? Who is stronger? Who is wiser than you? When you take over under them, you find security. I know you're going to say God, but God uses people. Listen, because of his vulnerabilities, the rock badger is never very far away from rocks. Because the moment it gets into the open, the eagle, the predator can swoop and get it before it runs away. It's not fast. So it is always in the crags, always very close. So the moment danger looms, it's gone. It's gone. Once it senses danger, it's gone. So my question is, who are you so close to that anytime danger looms, you can run to and find security? Know this, my friend. In this life, you can position yourself strategically to compensate for your handicaps. I'm going to finish, but let me tell you this. We live in a very volatile world relationally. People just pick up bags and leave. People just quit. People just move out of places when it's not convenient. But listen, there are some places that you can find security. There are some people that God will bring into your life who will be rocks over you. The enemy will do his level best to try to get you through this disagreement, through dissensions. And not, please think carefully before you do that. Don't be too comfortable around those that you can boss around. Find people, find places that bring the best out of you. The rock badger is feeble, yet makes his house in the cracks in the rocks. He uses positioning to his advantage. I pray that God will give you wisdom where you can position yourself right to your own advantage. But let me finish by telling you about the rock, not a rock, but the rock. His name is Jesus. When you run to him, you find security. I told you this is not going to be another church service, but I feel strongly that I must talk to somebody. You are very vulnerable if you don't have him in your life, if you are not hidden in him. You know, there's an old song. There's an old song that says, Rock of Ages, cleft for me. Let me hide myself in thee. Jesus is that rock. Whatever it is, for salvation, for healing, for deliverance, for protection, run to him. He will never give you up. My name is Ofosu-Appiah, your ambassador of hope. The ant, its wisdom is preparation. The rock badger, its wisdom is positioning. Episode 16 next week, we'll look at the locust. We're going to find what is the wisdom about the locust. Listen, I'm going to let you go, but I want to encourage you to give towards this vision, give towards this mission. I'm going to put things out there, our giving platform out there. For the next just 30 seconds, 1 minute. Just give. If you're going to do PayPal, just go ahead and do that. Advanced Life, we are Advanced Life. Or in the continental USA, Cash App. Beautifully out there. Please help us. And if you have a testimony or whatever, let us hear from you. Just do that. I'm going to give you just 30 seconds. I'm going to come back and pray with you, and we shall be on our way. Thank you so much for your generosity. You are the people that make this thing go around. Like I told you, we just need your help. No arm twisting, no guilt tripping. But I know you are a very generous person, and thank you very, 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 very much. I am praying for you in the name of the Lord, that God will cover you between today and the next time that we meet. May no trouble overtake you. May you know the rock, which is the rock of ages, who is Jesus. And may God send you to some proper rocks in your life, who can protect you, who can preserve you, who can give you wisdom, who can fight your enemies for you. May God give you wisdom like the rock badger to outwit every enemy. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. Amen and amen. Hey, I trust that you've been blessed. Let us know about it. Send us a message, DMS. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week for episode number 16. The locusts, they have no king, yet they move in ranks. You'll understand what is in there. I love you, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.